Hey there, I'm Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a sleep consultant at Helping Babies Sleep. And today I want to talk to you about how to stop co-sleeping with your baby or toddler if you want to. Because here's the thing, I don't judge. However we want to raise your kiddo, so be it. Co-sleeping works fabulously for some people, and yet other people struggle. And why is that? First of all, I have to tell you, the American Academy of Pediatrics does not recommend co-sleeping. They recommend room sharing until 6 months, ideally a year, which is a really long time, but I have another whole video on that. But bed sharing they don't necessarily recommend, because their guidelines are really to protect our most vulnerable infants and uneducated parents. So all that being said, let's dive into co-sleeping. So why does it work for some people and not for others, right? Maybe you're co-sleeping and you're struggling with a lot of nighttime wake-ups. Maybe you have to nurse back to sleep or give a bottle back to sleep or rock back to sleep. In my practice, I work with parents and those are the three main things that they go through in the night. And this can happen at any age. It can be from 4 months all the way up to even age 2, depending on your food source and how your baby falls asleep as well. Because however they fall asleep is what they're going to expect in the nighttime when they wake up. All humans wake up in the night, but why does your child then have to nurse or have a bottle or whatnot? There's one thing I want you to remember from this video. It's this phrase right here, that the drive to sleep is biological, but the way we sleep, it's actually a learned behavior. Which kind of sounds crazy if you think of your little perfect little baby, but here's the thing. We have a buildup of a protein, adenosine, that tells our brain when it's time to sleep. That is biological. But then how we fall asleep, that is a learned behavior. I want you to think about yourself. You have a little bedtime routine that signals yourself that sleep is coming. You climb into bed, you find your favorite position, and then you relax into sleep. If I told you tonight you couldn't sleep in that position, you would manage, but you would be uncomfortable for a few minutes as you figured out how you relax yourself into sleep. So for a lot of the kiddos that I work with, their known way of falling to sleep is either nursing to sleep, having a bottle. Both things are very repetitive and relaxing, or rocking. It's rocking, repetitive motions that help kids fall into sleep. So why is co-sleeping now not working for you? And maybe it used to work and now it's just kind of spiraled out of control and you find yourself waking up 4 or 5 times a night. The most common reason, number one, is a sleep debt. So what happens is that, all of our kiddos have a certain amount of sleep that they generally need by age to be well rested. If we keep our kiddos up too long before bed, for example, a 1-year-old can really only stay awake maximum about 4 hours before bed. If you've got a 6-hour or a 5-hour stretch before bed, now it makes it harder for her to fall asleep and she wants more help at bedtime because she's so tired. And then that predisposes her to wake up in the night and 5 a.m. wake-ups because she's overtired. It's totally counterintuitive what you might think, right? Tired kids, you think they should sleep better, but it's actually the opposite. The more well-rested your child is, the easier it's going to be to get her to fall asleep and then stay asleep. So sleep debt. So over the weeks, maybe even months, maybe even years, not getting enough sleep, and now they need more help to fall asleep and they wake up more. The second thing then can be your feeding habit. So let's say now that you're, you've been helping your child back to sleep with a breast or a bottle. Well, now you've actually shifted the calories into the night, and now you've got an established feeding habits that are going on there. So that's the second reason. Now your child's body is used to eating at those times, and they wake up. And then the third reason is like your child's temperament. So your child may be especially toddlers, especially 14-month-old boys, I work a lot with those, may be very strong-willed and want exactly what they want. And that forcefulness, the opinionatedness, if that's a word, of your toddler totally throws you for a loop, and they think they must need to be eating or having what they want at that exact time. So what can you do? How can you help your child sleep? How can you start weaning away from all these nighttime wake-ups? So the first thing goes back to that timing, right? Making sure that you're catching your child's sleep window. And I'm going to post a link to my sleep summary by age, which will tell you by month how much sleep your baby needs for naps and for nighttime sleep, and an overall number, as well as how long they can comfortably stay awake for between naps. So working on the timing of sleep, trying to get more sleep to avoid it being harder for your child to fall asleep and perpetuating those night wakings. The second thing is, can you start working on reducing the amount of food that your child is consuming in the night? And so you can do this gradually, because the feeding, if you don't reduce it gradually, if you try and go cold turkey, you're going to have major self-doubt that when your child's crying that it's not hunger waking her up. So reducing the amount of food that you are offering in the night gradually over time. The third thing that you can do is, can you now start changing what that sleep crutch was? So the two most addictive kind of sleep crutches, those learned behaviors that your child needs to fall asleep, are nursing, bottle, and then some sort of touch. So can you work on the nursing and the bottle and move to touch and rocking instead, doing this gradually? And then the fourth thing is, can you introduce some sort of a transitional object, like a really soft bunny for kids that are in the toddler years. There's a Jellycat bunny that I absolutely love. It's really, really soft. You can start rubbing your child's face with it, showing them how soothing it can be, with the ultimate long-term goal of them being able to do that themselves without you. So those are a few reasons why your baby's co-sleeping is starting to fall apart, and a couple of simple things that you can start working on. And I want you to remember that these patterns have been established for, how old is your child? So it's not going to be a quick fix overnight. It's something that you're going to be working on over the next days to weeks. If you like what I'm sharing with you, come take my free sleep quiz where I'll assess your child's age, how much sleep they're getting, their sleeping habits, and we can identify what's working for you and maybe what might not be working for you, and give you a couple more tips to help you get more sleep and with less effort. Because I want you to remember that your child is so important, but you too are also an important person, and that you can be loving, attached, and well rested. So have a great day, everyone.